Alright, NFL fans, hold on to your helmets because we've got some wild news straight from the world of Super Bowl 59. The Kansas City Chiefs are aiming for history this weekend, trying to become the first team to win 3 straight Super Bowl titles, but guess what? The ticket prices aren't exactly reflecting that hype. In fact, they're dropping faster than a receiver trying to avoid a safety blitz. Stick around, because we're going to dive deep into why Super Bowl tickets are plummeting, what's going on in New Orleans, and whether the Chiefs' dominance is finally wearing thin on fans. Plus, we've got the inside scoop on some big money Super Bowl commercials that are bringing in millions. You don't want to miss this. So hit that subscribe button, and let's get into it. A historic Chiefs opportunity. But let's set the scene. It's Super Bowl 59, and the Kansas City Chiefs are hoping to make NFL history by winning 3 Super Bowls in a row, something no team has ever done before. That's a big deal, but if you've been checking out ticket prices for the big game, you might be scratching your head. As of right now, the cheapest ticket for Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans has fallen below $4 on the secondary market. Yep, that's right, below $4. And guess what? That's a whopping 30% drop in just the past week. To put things in perspective, it's more than 50% cheaper than last year's Super Bowl, which saw record high ticket prices. So, what gives? Why are ticket prices plummeting right when the Chiefs could make history? Let's break it down. The host city, New Orleans versus Vegas. One major factor is the city hosting this year's big game, New Orleans. Now, don't get me wrong, New Orleans is a legendary city with Mardi Gras, jazz, delicious food, and so much more, but when it comes to Super Bowl venues, let's be real, New Orleans doesn't quite have the same flash as Las Vegas. Last year, the Super Bowl was held in Vegas for the first time, and we all know that's the party capital of the US. People are flocking to Vegas to make a whole experience out of the weekend. Compare that with New Orleans, which, while a great city, doesn't have quite the same flashy appeal for a Super Bowl showdown. According to TickPick CEO Brett Goldberg, New Orleans doesn't have the same appeal as a party city like Vegas, which may explain why people aren't rushing to buy those expensive tickets. But wait, there's more. The bigger seating capacity at the Caesars Superdome is also affecting ticket prices. The Superdome can hold around 74,000 fans, while Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas only holds about 65,000. The bigger the venue, the lower the ticket prices can go, since there are simply more seats to fill. So, if you were hoping for a smaller, more exclusive crowd, New Orleans' larger capacity isn't doing any favors for ticket prices. A city in turmoil. And if that weren't enough, New Orleans is still reeling from a tragic event that happened last month. A terrorist attack in the city left 14 people dead and many others injured. While the city is recovering, the attack has surely affected the general atmosphere and tourism vibe. People might be a little hesitant to travel to a city dealing with such heavy emotions, which could also contribute to the overall dip in demand for Super Bowl tickets. It's a tough situation, but one that certainly factors into the decision-making process for potential buyers. The Chiefs, a third time's the charm? Or nah? Now let's talk about the matchup. On paper, this is a dream Super Bowl, the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Philadelphia Eagles. But here's the kicker, fans are getting tired of seeing the Chiefs dominate. Yeah, I said it. This is the third year in a row the Chiefs have made it to the big game. And some fans are starting to feel like we've seen this show before. According to TickPick's Brett Goldberg, fans are bored by a third straight Chiefs Super Bowl bid. So, while the Chiefs are still one of the best teams in the league, maybe fans are craving some new blood. If it had been teams like the Detroit Lions, Washington Commanders, or Buffalo Bills in the mix, ticket prices might have been through the roof. Instead, we've got a lot of been there, done that vibes. The commercials are where the big money's at. But hey, it's not all bad news. While ticket prices are plummeting, the commercials for Super Bowl 59 are through the roof. Fox has already sold at least 10 of its 30-second ad spots for a whopping $8 million each. Yep, you heard that right, $8 million for a 30-second commercial. That's more than some people's yearly salary. But apparently, these advertisers are willing to shell out that kind of cash for the exposure. And the craziest part? Fox originally asked for $7 million for those spots, But the demand got so high that they raised the price even further. So even though the ticket prices are taking a hit, the commercial revenue is setting some serious records. The bigger picture: Super Bowl ticket drama. So, what's going on here? Why is ticket pricing so unpredictable? It's clear that the NFL is in a bit of a pickle this year. On one hand, the Chiefs have a chance to make history. But on the other hand, fans are growing tired of the same teams making it to the Super Bowl year after year. And when you throw in the factors of a larger stadium, the host city's atmosphere, and the tragic events that have impacted New Orleans, it's not that surprising that ticket prices have dipped. But here's the bottom line: the Super Bowl is still the Super Bowl. Even if ticket prices aren't breaking records, the game is still going to be packed with drama, excitement, and some of the best football on the planet. Whether you're there in person or watching from your couch, this is going to be a game to remember. Conclusion: so, what do you think? Are you surprised by the drop in Super Bowl ticket prices this year? Is the Chiefs' third straight appearance finally turning people off? Or is it just a result of a host city that doesn't quite have the same party energy as Las Vegas? Let me know in the comments below. And if you're as hyped about the Super Bowl as we are, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to stay updated on all the latest NFL drama, ticket shenanigans, and crazy commercial stories. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. Until next time, stay fired up, enjoy the Super Bowl from wherever you're watching, and let's see if the Chiefs can make history or if the Eagles will take home the crown. Either way, we'll be here to talk all about it. Thanks for watching. Folks, keep your snacks stocked and your jerseys ready, because Super Bowl Sunday is right around the corner. We'll be keeping an eye on everything, from ticket drama to game time touchdowns. See you next time. And remember, it's all about the game, and sometimes a great deal on a ticket. Catch you later. What's up, NFL fans? As Super Bowl 2025 gets underway, there's a big conversation happening that goes beyond the game itself. Commissioner Roger Goodell just made a bold move, and we're here to talk about it. The NFL is doubling down on its commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion, or DEI, in a time when many major U.S. corporations are stepping away from those very initiatives. So, what does this mean for the league, for its players, and for the future of the sport? Stick around, because we're diving deep into this decision and what it could mean for the NFL in the years to come. But before we dive in, if you're into the latest NFL news and insights, make sure you smash that subscribe button and stay tuned. The NFL's commitment to diversity. What's the big deal? Alright, let's start with what's going down. On Monday, ahead of Super Bowl 2025, NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell made a major statement. Despite a shift in corporate America, where companies like Meta, Amazon, and McDonald's are pulling back from their diversity efforts, the NFL is standing strong. Goodell said that the NFL's push for diversity, equity, and inclusion would continue, no backing down. This move comes in the wake of a political and corporate landscape that's gotten increasingly skeptical of DEI programs, especially after Trump's re-election, which led to widespread pullbacks in many large companies. Now, the NFL has been a front-runner in promoting diversity, especially in its hiring practices. The famous Rooney Rule, which requires NFL teams to interview minority candidates for top positions, has been a cornerstone of the league's DEI efforts. But after Trump's first term, where diversity initiatives in the federal government were severely challenged, many people wondered if the NFL would follow suit and scale back their efforts too. But not Goodell, he's clear. The NFL believes in diversity not just because it's the right thing to do, but because it works. The NFL's past and current DEI stance. Why it matters. So, why is this such a big deal? Well, the NFL is one of the most visible sports leagues in the world. Its influence is massive, and what it does can send ripples through corporate America. The league has long been under the microscope when it comes to racial diversity, especially among head coaches, executives, and even team owners. Let's not forget about the heated back and forth between the league and Trump's administration over kneeling during the national anthem. That created a lot of tension, and some thought that the league might soften its DEI stance to avoid more controversy. But Commissioner Goodell made it clear on Monday that they're not changing course. In fact, he called diversity efforts fundamental to attracting the best talent for the league, both on and off the field. He said, We're not in this because it's a trend to get into or a trend to get out of it. Our efforts are fundamental in trying to attract the best possible talent into the National Football League. The future of the Rooney Rule, expanding the pipeline of talent. Now, let's talk about the Rooney Rule for a second. This initiative has been under a lot of scrutiny. But Goodell emphasized that the goal is not to enforce quotas. Instead, the rule's focus is on looking at the full pool of talent, and that talent includes diverse candidates. Teams are required to interview minority candidates for top positions. But it's up to the team to make the final decision. It's about opening up opportunities, not guaranteeing a hire. And in a world where some companies are scaling back day programs, Goodell's words are a clear indication that the NFL will continue to move in the direction of inclusivity. The broader context: corporate pullback on day. Now, let's take a moment to put this in perspective. Recently, we've seen a number of big-name companies scale back their day efforts. Corporations like Walmart, Lowe's, Boeing, and John Deere have scaled back initiatives, with many citing changes in political climate, particularly after Trump's re-election. One of Trump's first acts in office was to issue an executive order aiming to cut government day programs, which set a tone for corporate America to follow. Amidst all of this, the NFL's stance is noteworthy. It stands out as a prominent player, no pun intended, in an ever-shifting corporate world. While other companies are walking away from diversity, Goodell and the NFL are doubling down. This is a big statement in itself, especially as DEI remains a hot-button issue across America. What does this mean for the NFL? So, what's at stake here? Well, Goodell's decision reflects a broader value: the belief that diversity strengthens the NFL. It's not just about ticking a box. It's about fostering an environment where every player, coach, executive, and fan feels like they belong. And as we've seen in recent years, the diversity of the league's players has only grown. The NFL's fanbase also increasingly reflects this diverse reality, which is why Goodell believes it's so important to maintain these initiatives. It's also important to note that while the NFL's focus on diversity is admirable, the league still faces challenges. The lack of diversity among team owners, for example, has come under fire in recent years. But Goodell made it clear that the focus is on creating a more inclusive environment across the board. From the playing field to the boardroom, the NFL's response to corporate sponsors and partnerships. Here's an interesting twist in the story. When asked about whether the NFL would take a stand against sponsors or partners who've cut back on their own DEI efforts, Goodell was pretty clear. He said, "We don't make policies for our sponsors or any of the corporations or networks or partners that we deal with." In other words, while the league is firm on its DEI policies, it doesn't dictate what other companies do. However, it's clear that the NFL is committed to continuing its DEI initiatives because they believe it's the right thing to do, not just a trend to jump on or off. Conclusion. So there you have it, folks. The NFL has made its stance crystal clear: DEI initiatives are here to stay. And they're not backing down, even when the rest of corporate America is pulling back. It's a bold decision, and one that could shape the future of the league for years to come. What do you think? Is the NFL making the right move in staying committed to diversity? Or should they rethink their approach? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates on all things NFL. We'll keep you in the loop on everything happening in the world of football, from Super Bowl predictions to league-wide changes. Thanks for tuning in, folks. We'll catch you next time with more of the latest NFL news and commentary. Stay fired up, stay informed, and remember, football is more than just a game. It's a reflection of the world we live in. See you soon.